The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time is rated E for everyone by the ESRB. Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Ocarina of Time Master Quest. In the last episode, we opened up the Door of Time and allowed Ganondorf access to the Triforce, and now he's turned Hyrule into a world of monsters. In this episode, before we get there, we've been given the advice to go awaken the 5 remaining sages, and with guidance from a man named Sheik, we are going to go visit the forest where Link first came from. So, I'm going to repeat it again in this episode, because for those of you who don't watch my episodes and start midway through a series, I am aware of Sheik. I know who Sheik is. In this iteration of Sheik, I think and view Sheik as a man. For those of you who are going to counter-argue, well, Sheik's really person X. I know Sheik is really person X. That doesn't change the fact that Sheik is a guy. This is to keep in mind that this game came out in a day and age where characters had this kind of flexibility with their identity. They didn't have to be either or. They could just be whatever they want. And then there was an era of video games where a character's gender is solely defined and there's nothing any person could do about it. So it got to the point where in another game called Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, I'm going to talk about this real quick, there's a character in that game called Vivian, and she becomes a partner, but in the Japanese release of the game, Vivian is a guy. In the North American release, they converted all of Vivian and even her sisters in North American to being sisters rather than brothers. And it's sad to me that North America is in a culture where that existed. I would love to have a game where Vivian was identified as a male character and all the dialogue boxes stayed the same. Now, I came to this area because I believe there is... I wanted to show it off, but it's not showing off. Anyways, I would have loved a game where the dialogue is the exact same, but Vivian is actively portrayed as a male character rather than a female character. Yeah, even that is incorrect. Sorry, what I'm looking for is a Skull Kid. You can come across the Skull Kids in this area and they will attack you, and I wanted to show that off, but I can't seem to find them here. Back to my rant. It's sad to me that that's what video games back in that day got to. So, in this game, yes, I do view Sheik as a guy, because originally Sheik was a guy. And then the big reveal came about of who Sheik really was, and that was supposed to change everything, because now you're like, oh my god, was Sheik really a guy or was Sheik a girl? Sheik is still a guy, because of the magic that was used on the character. Even the official artwork of Sheik is a masculine build, and character designs back in the day they made that obvious. Anyways, I really wanted to get that rant out. It's something that I'm very passionate about with character designs, and if you agree with my view, awesome. If you don't, that's awesome too, because my brother, who I love and respect, has the viewpoint that Sheik is a girl, and that's also fine. From here on, we'll be going through some narrow passages. If you take it slow, maybe you can sneak up on some enemies. Use L targeting to always look in the proper direction. Set your view so you can see down the next corridor before you turn a corner. Once your view is set, hold down L and sidestep around the corner. That way you won't be surprised by an enemy waiting in ambush. So we're going to quickly switch up my gear so that I have the hook shot. And basically what it's suggesting is doing this. Sidestepping out into the cross path so that you can fire upon the enemy. Now I do want this guy to come a little faster. I did not know I could kill them from the front. I thought you always had to shoot them in the back, so I learned something new. Anyways, these creatures are called moblins, and if you know anything about past iterations of Ganon, you would know that Ganon was once a moblin. So it's interesting, the design aspect. This is the correct hole, right? Interesting. In 7 years, the hole got deeper. Anyways, this iteration of moblins, which have last been seen in the Dark World of A Link to the Past, have an interesting character design in this version. Now, the hookshot does not kill this guy, but he does stun, so that's always good. If you defeat the big moblin, you get 20 rupees or 15 rupees, depending on what he drops. And we have come back to Saria's special place, the Sacred Forest Meadow, the place where we learned Saria's song. Ninja. The flow of time is always cruel. Its speed seems different from each person, but no one can change it. A thing that doesn't change with time is a memory of younger days. In order to come back here again, play the Minuet of Forest. You have learned the Minuet of Forest. I'll see you again. Ninja. So while I am in front of the Forest Temple, we're not going to go in it right now because I know that I am still ill-equipped. There is one last thing that I want to get, and I am going to cut to that area just because of how far out of the way it is. And that is going to take me all the way to the... I just realized I climbed there without even looking to see if it was safe to do so. And the thing I'm after is the Scarecrow song. While yes, we do have it, it does nothing still. So I will demonstrate here. This green marker is an indication of the Scarecrow song. And when we play it, nothing happened. Sorry about this, guys. I'm just waiting for my garage door to open and close and open. it doesn't really make sense, I know. My office space that I record in is located right above the garage, so it's just gonna take me a moment. Wait, what am I doing? I'm cutting to the thing. You guys aren't even gonna be bothered by this. By the way, while we're in between areas, I'm going to mention this now while I have this opportunity, before the garage door closes, that when you're an adult, the Style children do not come out of the ground when wandering the wilderness. So you don't have to worry about random pop-ups and attacks when you're traveling. Okay, now we're gonna cut again when I get to the scarecrows in Lake Hylia. So we've just taken our first steps into the actual entrance of Lake Hylia, and as you noticed, the lake is drained. This is another one of those crazy points where you see the damage of Ganondorf's control. Anyways, we got to the Scarecrow, which is what I wanted. Hey, it's the Ocarina. Play that song with it, baby. Oh yeah, that's it. That's the tune. You rock. I'm blown away. Oh, no, I didn't forget the song. I never forget anything. But I just feel like rewarding you, baby. I have a good idea. My buddy Pierre is wandering around, so play that tune when you want to call him. I'll tell him to help you if he's nearby and hears that song. So we actually do need that in this version of the game, because there are some areas that require the Scarecrow song in order to even progress in the dungeons. I know this for a fact because of the last time I watched a video of this, they required the Scarecrow song and they ended up needing to go way out of their way to even get it because they were already halfway through the dungeon. Once again, I was not paying attention to the actual dungeon, just that they needed the Scarecrow song, and they made it adamantly clear that they needed it. Anyways, with that, I am going to travel back to the Lost Woods. Yes. That's the wrong button. Okay, so we're gonna go back to the Forest Temple. We're not gonna run because, gosh, that was a mistake. And we're going to probably get started a little bit on the Forest Temple. Just a little bit. Not the entire thing. Maybe. I don't know yet. We'll find out. But I'm going to cut the recording session here and come back to do the dungeon in this episode, just on a separate recording session. And we're back from that cut. I apologize. I had some other things I had to quickly go do. You know, real life stuff. But we're going to continue this episode now. So I've got everything that I think I need. The Scarecrow the Scarecrow song, the hook shot, the sword, and oh, this room feels a whole lot emptier now that there's no. Okay. A reminder. It's been a long time since I've played these dungeons. So I have no idea what to expect. I'm super glad I learned about the Skeletal Purple trick. Oh. Just wish they were a little easier to see on this wall. Okay. So in the normal Ocarina of Time, there's normally a key up here on a treasure chest. And I see a switch, but it's not a key. So let's see what the switch does. Oh, it drops a treasure chest on the other side. What an unusual thing to add in. This is a key! Hooray! So it was just an extra step to get a key. Should have rolled. So yeah, I have the dungeons and the temples are probably gonna be the hardest part for me, because this is the part where I completely blank on, or yeah, blank out on watching videos. Either I'm using it to fall asleep too, so I fall asleep by the time they get to this part, or I'm just so into something that I'm working on that this is now, excuse me, that this is now background noise. So I have no idea what to expect. I see two eye keys. Two eye switches, which require the bow. Normally you come across to the other side, so we're gonna take a peek at that. There's also normally a Skulltula, which I don't see there. Dungeons have moved around gold Skulltulas, so do not expect me to know where all the Skulltulas are. I have no idea what I'm doing. Okay, so this moves the Temple of Time block completely. Okay, I like that. And they made this room easier by switching the Stalfos for Wolfos. Let's see what we got. Big chest? Small chest. So we got a key. Which is fine. Okay, some things that I know about the Forest Temple. It is designed after a mansion rather than an actual temple. So people believe that this was actually like a knight's fortress or a very regal home once used by the Hyrulean royal family, which is why it's a sacred place now. The soundtrack that you hear in the background is reused in Twilight Princess as the City in the Sky theme, which I think is really cool. Oh no. Okay, Stalfos are never that aggressive. I've never seen a Stalfos jump all the time with their attacks. Can't go that way. Okay. Gold Skulltula. Might as well collect that. Trying to think of what the other gold Skulltula rewards are off the top of my head. I know at one point you get more bomb chews, which is good. There are arrows painted on the floor. Yes, there are. Okay. And oh shoot. Okay, so we're gonna pull this one beyond. 1, 2. Okay. Can't do anything there. What else do I know about the temple? This is one of 2 temples you find in the game that do not have statues depicting a deity. Unless you count the paintings. There are a number of paintings you find later on that could be depicting what could be some sort of deity, I guess. Here. Okay, that's pushed all the way already. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to think of how to navigate this dungeon. I feel like I'm missing stuff already. Because normally I don't take this path without 2 or 3 keys with me. And... oh... I see what they did there. Normally I don't come into this room until I have a couple of keys with me. And right now I actually only have 1, so I feel like I'm missing stuff. Even though that seems to be impossible. Because we've only had access to 2 rooms. 3 technically, but one of them already had a key in it. Okay. So we pull that down. Now when we climb up here, that block should be out of the way. Yes. That is sneaky. That is sneaky of the game for sure. I love the Forest Temple for its illusions. I will give this dungeon that kind of credit, because that's what the dungeon is. It's designed to make you think outside of the box. Now, why do I have this? Is there a switch? No, that's a shortcut? Odd, but okay. Using your shield, you can knock the fire off of these bubbles. In other games, the fire that the bubbles Watch out for the shadows of monsters that hang from the ceiling. Well, this has not moved places. We've already got the boss key, which is good. Sorry guys, I really needed that drink. Let's see. Lovely floor masters. Not what I wanted, and I can barely see them. Okay. If a floor master grabs hold of Link and like sucks his life, once it's done attacking, it will regrow back in size. Okay, we finally made it back into, well, not back into, I guess. We finally made it into a courtyard. Once again, actually, this is... Well, no, this is once again. Sneaking up on the Redeads by walking slowly is a way to get to the Redeads without it paralyzing you. I think as an adult, the Redeads don't paralyze, but it is better to be cautious when walking by them. Oh no. I don't like that at all. Is there anything I can do from this room? I can't do anything there. Possibly. No, I can't. Nothing that I have shoots up that high. That is full of water. There'd be no point in jumping down here. From what I can tell. Okay. Let's readjust my position here. Okay. Let's use our new secret path. Okay. I am super... I'm really sorry that the second half of this episode is just me like staring intently at the screen trying to figure out what to do. It's really disorienting. Playing probably one of my favorite dungeons in this particular pattern and order. Okay. Backflip down. Can't do anything in this room, so we move on. Okay. What is going on next? Actually, this is a great time to demonstrate this. Okay. Deku Nuts usually have a lot more power to them. And I know for a fact that if the second Stalfo stays alive for too long, the first one will come back to life. And you'd have to redo the battle technically all over again. So try to get rid of them both at the same time. Okay, we got the fairy bow, which gets us through some... Sorry guys. Nothing important on that, as I make a lot of noise. Okay, I want to go back, which is this way. Okay, so one thing that I really like about this game is that the paintings that you deal with you shoot paintings, and they're paintings of ghosts at that, which I think is really cool. Now, these ghosts have special names. This one is Jolene, but she basically functions like any other ghost Kind of. Huh. No, we're just gonna go back to this. So ideally, you'd want to L target and attack them, but these ghosts, these ghosts go invisible if you L target, and they like to spin at you a lot. And it just lengthens an unnecessary battle. So I recommend just using the bow and arrow to deal with Jolene and the other 4 ghosts from earlier. Jolene, Beth, Amy, and Joelle? I can't remember all their names. I believe the green one is Joelle. But we will, of course, double check. Okay, what do I have going on here? This one is Beth. And if you are too close to a picture, they will flee to a farther away picture. It's why I recommend standing by this one on the crossroads, because then you're far away from the upper and lower paintings. Able to target them without targeting them. And able to destroy the paintings. This is really riveting, this dungeon. But you know what? We're gonna finish Beth, and then we'll probably call it a part officially. Yes. Huh. So they just moved. They honestly only moved the location of the dungeon map. Weird. And of course rearranged the dungeon. But we got the compass. Before we call it an episode, I just want to see if I'm able to continue forward or if I'm backtracking. I am backtracking. Okay guys, we're going to call it an episode today. In this episode, we had gone and entered the Forest Temple, and I believe we got about halfway through, if my assumption is correct. In the next episode, we're going to continue through these hallowed halls and see if we can find our first forest, our first sage. I'll see you guys all in the next episode. Bye.